I am back from Super RetroCon in Kissimmee, Florida, and I had a really good time. I was hanging out with my good friend Matt from Reklaimers Vintage Toys and his lovely companion April, and as you know, they were both instrumental in helping with Iconicon last year. And I've never actually been to a show where Matt is selling. I've been to shows with Matt, such as Joe Fest and Retro Toy Con in South Carolina. Matt did the interviews with Larry Kinney and a number of other celebrities, and I posted some of those videos a few years ago. But I've never been to one of the events where Matt is selling, and he and I got to walk the show a little bit. I have some footage of that coming up, and I got to walk the floor, and then Matt and I had a good conversation about changing trends in toy collecting preferences. In other words, why certain toy lines don't become collectible and then suddenly they're real hot. That was our improvisational panel at Super RetroCon. The con is staged up differently from other events I've been to, where it's in a different kind of convention facility and there isn't really a panel room. There is a sort of announcement stage with a branded backdrop. Matt and I had intended to do a panel presentation about the most underrated playsets of the 80s. But when we got there, we realized there's no seating for anybody for a panel. It's just more of an announcement stage with 2 microphones and a table. And we thought, well, we need to switch this up. I had brought a projector and all kinds of things, but there was literally nowhere to put any of that. So we decided to have a conversation where I basically interviewed him a little bit about changing trends in toy collectability, what affects those trends, how those things fluctuate, that kind of thing. It wasn't recordable because it's hard to explain, but it was literally just microphones broadcasting out across the entire sales floor. And people who walked by the stage would see us both sitting there talking, but there wasn't really incentive to stop. So there wasn't a conducive way to film that, is what I'm saying. Otherwise, I would have had that video as well for the channel at some point within the next week or so. But there wasn't an opportunity to do that. That's not a criticism of the show at all. As far as going there as a toy collector looking for toys, great show. These are my finds that I came back with. I finally found, thanks to Matt of all people, and yes, I purchased it. Matt did not give this to me. He tried, because he's a good guy, but I purchased this from him. I finally found my 80s era true vintage Lamborghini Countach Hot Wheels that I wanted since I was a kid. I finally have one, and it's in really good shape. And then I also bought from him the radar dish for the Maggot, the G.I. Joe branded Cobra Maggot. My childhood one, that's the only piece on it that's broken. And it's really difficult to fix. And when I came across him having one, I was like, sold. So that's what these are. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did Michael buy more Marvel Legends and, Black Series? And as I said, as the new face prints come out for some of these characters, that entices me a little bit. So in typical fashion, I was seeing the revised Princess Leia and New Hope Han Solo Black Series at this show while they languish in my Big Bad Toy Store pre-orders. So I grabbed Leia. I saw the Han Solo at 3 different vendor booths. And he's on the Power of the Force tribute card, the Power of the Force 2 90s tribute card. I don't care about that. I just cared about the face. The face on that Han Solo was so... It didn't look anywhere near as good as the Empire or the Endor one, or even the Hoth revised one from last year, the year before. Hard to remember. I was like, you know what? This is like the Lando from Empire Strikes Back. I actually prefer the original sculpt still. The hand sculpted face. I actually prefer the way that looks to the latest version. And sadly, as excited as I initially was to see that Han Solo there, because again, languishing in my Big Bad Toy Store pre-orders, I didn't pick it up. I was like, well, and I canceled my pre-order for it there after I saw what it looked like. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I got Princess Leia. There was a guy there that actually had Jackson from the 1970s comics. I couldn't pass that up. I was like, that is a total tribute figure to my generation. I've got to get that. That's too funny and too cool not to have. And then I picked up these 2 Marvel Legends because I'm somebody who really got into Doctor Strange as a character portrayed in the MCU. I really liked the way they did it. I loved every appearance that he had in every other Marvel film. I thought Cumberbatch did an amazing job as Doctor Strange. And so there's something attractive to me about this upcoming movie. And when I saw that Wanda was in it and she's in her new outfit that showed up in WandaVision, I thought, well, I wish I'd have picked up that figure at the time, so I better go get it from one of these vendors now before that movie comes out. I'm sure they'll re-release Wanda, and I'm just being dumb, but I picked up Wanda, and the 3rd and final version of Doctor Strange I didn't have, because I have the multiverse Doctor Strange that I found at Target a few weeks ago, and I also have the original face-printed version of Doctor Strange with the green energy circles around his arms. But I was like, oh, there's a No Way Home version. I'll grab that too. So these were kind of like my random runaround purchases at Super RetroCon. But there was a lot of good vintage stuff there that you'll see in the footage. And there was a lot of, how do I describe it? A lot of energy and a lot of mix to everything. Yes, there were Funko Pops, as always. There were some great comic book dealers there. There was a good mix of, range of modern. I even saw carded Hasbro Indiana Jones there in good numbers from one vendor, which you never see at these shows. At least I haven't in the last 10 years anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is there was very good variety between vintage and modern. And then, of course, there were some comic book dealers. There were some art dealers and some other people there that were selling, things that weren't even related to toys or pop culture. But they attracted me nonetheless. And then, of course, to add to the whole retro feel, Super RetroCon had this literal BMX stunt display going on every hour. So there were guys on vintage BMXs doing, with the whole ramp system and everything, doing flips and loops and all kinds of stuff. It was a very unique experience. They had some celebrity guests there as well, including Keith Coogan, who was part of Iconicon last year, which was great to see him again. Great show. Let's roll the footage, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, everyone, we are here at Super RetroCon in Kissimmee, Florida, and I'm about to do a walk around and see what I can see. I picked up a few Marvel Legends already. I've picked up some Star Wars Black Series. I even picked up a Hot Wheel and a G.I. Joe part, but now I want to walk the floor and see what's out there. So let's go. For the love of God. No shirt, no shoes, no Stratos.
Nice and easy. Please don't get lost. And wait a minute. What are you doing? Someone get this guy a brick wall and a microphone. He has got jokes. Guard it. Hands on the handlebars. Feet on the pedals. Jump. You got it. All right, you're getting my jobs up, buddy. Here we go. All right, no brakes, bar spin style. Stay there, Bob. And then back over. That is how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get up to the bunny house kid.
Good Lord.
I mean, you don't see that very often, ever. Of course, the RetroBlasting archive has one, but that's neither here nor there.
They got a Havoc in a bag.
I know they've got a Jedi Starfighter in a bag, Havoc in a bag, the Bat plane in a bag, Bat plane in a bag.
What's this dinner? Havoc in a bag.
This is a new concept: vehicles in a bag. When I was a kid in Christmas 1994, or no, 96, Christmas of 96, I got pants in a bag. True, and it even had a thing on it that said pants in a bag on it. They were like camping pants. I was like, this is the lamest Christmas ever.
Can't any pants be pants in a bag?
Why couldn't I
put
get
pants in a bag?
Like,
oh, hey, look at that.
Hello, my lovely. And there's no price tag.
yeah.
Red flag.
Yep, and it's a Grand Toys distribution from Canada as well.
French.
Yeah.
Ah, sacre bleu.
I canceled my Big Bad Toy Store order because I didn't want a naked Stratos. So I was like, why do I need that?
I picked up him and Sorceress. Whoever the other one was.
Jitsu.
Yeah. And then I left him.
And left him on the pegs. It's like, why are they?
Something just wrong about the nude Stratos.
Nude. There's nothing's good about nude Stratos.
What I love about these shows too is the little ephemera stuff. Like over here, like the Burger King outfit. Mm-hmm. Like they've got a woman's Burger King uniform from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Somewhere Candy has lost her uniform.
Unbelievable.
Remember when kitchens looked like this?
Yes. Yes.
Mortgage payment right there.
Holy crap.
Lord of the Rings.
You don't.
ring raid.
I don't think I've ever seen any Knickerbocker Lord of the Rings at a toy show ever.
Yeah, that's the rarest of the rare. Right
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, good God.
You know I can't resist. I always wanted to put my hand up Miss Piggy's skirt.
Wow. Got some stuff on your nose there.
Rhythm is a dancer. Oh man, she's filthy.